The Velkari Armada had never known defeat. For 3,000 cycles, their war fleets had swept across star systems like cosmic plagues, subjugating species, harvesting worlds, and expanding their empire to encompass nearly a third of the known galaxy. Their vessels were monuments to military perfection, sleek, efficient, deadly. Their tactics had been refined through countless conquests. Their warriors were bred for battle from conception to death. So when they encountered humanity's isolated colony on Kepler 442b, they expected nothing more than another routine annexation. The humans had been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries. They possessed no great empire, no ancient weapons, no mysterious technologies. They were, by all Velkari assessments, insignificant. Grand Admiral Thexrain commanded the subjugation fleet personally, 300 warships, each capable of glassing a continent. It was, if anything, excessive. But the Velkari had detected unusual energy signatures from human transmissions, and Thexrain was nothing if not thorough. The human colony transmitted a single message as the Armada entered orbit. "Leave now. This is your only warning." Thexrain's mandibles clicked in what passed for Velkari laughter. The response was predictable. Prey always made threats before the slaughter. He gave the order to begin orbital bombardment. That's when the Defiance appeared. One ship, a single human vessel emerging from the shadow of Kepler 442b's moon. It was smaller than even the Velkari's escort frigates, an ungainly construction of modular sections that seemed held together more by determination than engineering. Its hull was scarred and patched, clearly a relic from humanity's earlier, cruder attempts at voidcraft. Thexrain almost felt insulted. The Defiance didn't hail them, didn't posture or threaten. It simply accelerated, impossibly fast, directly toward the center of the Velkari formation. The first volley of Velkari plasma cannons should have vaporized it. The targeting systems were perfect, the firing solutions flawless. 36 heavy weapons discharged simultaneously. The Defiance wasn't there anymore. It had moved. Not dodged, moved. Between 1 microsecond and the next, it had translated position without crossing the intervening space. Thexrain's sensors screamed contradictions. His tactical officers reported impossible readings. Then the Defiance fired back. What emerged from its weapons wasn't energy or projectiles. It was something the Velkari had no name for. Spatial distortions that ignored shields, bypassed armor, and simply erased matter from existence. The human ship fired once, and 17 Velkari dreadnoughts ceased to be. Not destroyed, not disabled, simply gone as if they had never existed at all. Thexrain ordered the fleet to scatter, to engage evasive patterns perfected over millennia. The Defiance moved through them like a surgeon's blade through diseased tissue. It was everywhere and nowhere, its movements defying every law of physics the Velkari understood. Their weapons couldn't track it. Their shields couldn't stop it. Their armor was meaningless. In 47 seconds, half the Armada was gone. Thexrain finally understood what he was facing. This wasn't a ship. It was a demonstration. The humans had deliberately used an old, battered vessel to make a point. Even their obsolete technology could annihilate the Velkari's finest. He gave the order to retreat. The Defiance let them go. 73 ships limped away from Kepler 442b, carrying with them a message that would shatter the galactic order. Humanity was not prey. The Velkari Empire collapsed within a solar cycle, not from human aggression. The Defiance returned to its patrol and humanity continued their quiet expansion, but from the loss of credibility. Subject species rebelled. Rival empires sensed weakness. The Velkari, who had ruled through fear and perceived invincibility, discovered that once the illusion shattered, there was nothing beneath it. But the real devastation wasn't to the Velkari alone. Every major power in the galaxy had watched the engagement through various intelligence channels. They had all seen the same thing. A species barely out of its cradle possessed technology that made their own armaments look like stone axes. The implications were terrifying. The Gen Collective immediately ceased all expansion and diverted 90% of their resources to defensive research. The Korath Federation recalled all forward fleets and fortified their borders. A dozen minor empires simply disbanded their militaries entirely, reasoning that if humanity ever turned hostile, resistance would be meaningless anyway. First contact protocols were rewritten. Trade routes were adjusted to avoid human space. Entire sectors of the galaxy became dead zones as species scrambled to ensure they never, ever provoked humanity's attention. The humans, for their part, seemed baffled by the reaction. They had simply defended their colony. The technology the Defiance employed, quantum displacement drives and zero-point energy weapons, was, to them, barely beyond experimental stage. They had dozens of more advanced concepts in development. This information, when it inevitably leaked, made things worse. A new phrase entered galactic parlance: the human problem. Not because humans were aggressive or expansionist, but because their very existence had invalidated every empire's military doctrine, every species' sense of security, every carefully maintained balance of power. They were the ultimate disruptive force, and they didn't even seem to realize it. 50 cycles after the Battle of Kepler 442b, the galactic community remained fractured. Old alliances had dissolved. New confederations formed around the sole purpose of monitoring human activity. The great age of galactic empires had ended, replaced by nervous cooperation and defensive paranoia. And through it all, humanity continued their steady, cautious expansion into the stars, greeting each new species with friendship and curiosity, genuinely confused about why everyone seemed so terrified. In the archives of 100 civilizations, the Battle of Kepler 442b was studied endlessly, analyzed from every angle, picked apart for any insight that might bridge the technological gap. But the conclusion was always the same. Humans thought differently. They approached problems from angles that never occurred to other species. They combined creativity with determination in ways that produced results no rational analysis could predict. The galaxy had encountered humanity, and the galaxy would never be the same, because the most terrifying thing about humans wasn't their technology or their military capability. It was that they saw the Defiance as outdated. It was that they were still innovating, still advancing, still pushing boundaries that other species had long accepted as absolute. The Velkari Armada fell to one human ship, and in doing so revealed a truth the galaxy wasn't ready to accept. Humanity had only just begun.